呼ばれたのは区内白兎であって、俺は巻き込まれたってことなんじゃ。
After 15 years of being extremely popular, the MMORPG Infinity game servers are about to be shut down. The game's creator, Akira Ono, is unexpectedly summoned into the game as Demon Lord Hakuto Kunai. As he tries to make sense of his situation, he encounters an injured girl fleeing from a demon king, Grail, whom he easily defeats. Aku, the girl, explains that they have arrived in the kingdom of Holy Light, whose people revere the Holy Church and the Angel Cherub. Because these aren't in the original game, Kunai deduces that someone in the game attempted to summon a real demon lord, but instead summoned him. Aku explains that she is an orphan who was cast out as a sacrifice to Grail by cruel villagers. Kunai discovers that Grail has already killed the mages who summoned him at a nearby shrine. Kunai cannot be sent home by the shrine's idol because doing so would contradict the wish that summoned him. Instead, it bestows a magical ring on Kunai before disintegrating. Kunai brings Aku back to her village, but when she sees the villagers abusing her, her rage awakens the ring, which offers to kill the villagers.
不適切だと断じたものを処分するその権限が私にはある。あんな狂った国を作ったのも全部お前がやったことではないか。お前こそが諸悪の根源なのだ。
Instead, Kunai reveals himself as the Demon Lord, burns down the village in retaliation, and makes Aku his traveling companion on the way to the capital. Luna Elegant, one of the 3 holy maidens, goes in search of the rumored Demon Lord in order to vanquish him. Owen Gol and his robbers, the Moles, want to attack her and gain notoriety. Kunai intends to seek another shrine idol in the hopes that a similar entity to the one that summoned him would send him back home. The Moles were waiting for Luna's emissary the following morning, but Kunai and Aku were the first to fall into the trap. Kunai misidentifies Owengol as his real-world employer, resulting in a muddled dialogue. This is cut short by Luna, who causes the bandits to flee, while Kunai realizes he might be hurt by Luna's power. Kunai, irritated by her haughty, juvenile attitude, defeats her warriors and then punishes her by whipping her and takes her money. Kunai rents a room at an inn using Luna's money and buys Aku food and new clothing after discovering Aku's heterochromia. Later, overjoyed by his generosity, Aku asks Kunai if there is any way she can repay him, but an embarrassed and enraged Luna catches up to them to demand the return of her money, but is forced to quietly join them for dinner when threatened with a second spanking. Later on, she insists on sharing their room since it was paid for with her wealth. Kunai queries Luna about the cherub and discovers that it passed away after sealing away Grail, but that the remaining 2 angels, Ophan and Seraph, are still alive. Holy Maiden Killer Queen, the elder sister of Luna, approaches in her war chariot to transport Luna home. Kunai devises a scheme to earn money by selling worthless handcraft objects to an antique dealer. While Luna and Queen quarrel, an army of Satanists, believing they failed to invoke the Demon Lord, plots to murder both holy maidens with a miasma sludge enclosed in a box named Hades. Queen doubts the existence of a Demon Lord, despite Luna's claim to have subdued him. The cult then assaults, and Kunai discovers that the adherents are wearing the same garments as those who summoned him. As the devotees release Hades to impair Luna and Queen, Kunai is tempted by his ring to slay the maidens, but he resists. The ring paralyzes him, compelling him to transform into one of his other Infinity Grave avatars.
Yeah!
竜の前にシャバ像が立つなんざ千年早えんだよ。
Zero Kirisame, at the expense of Zero's ability to regulate himself. Zero defeats the cultists, and Queen falls instantaneously in love with him after he regards her as a woman instead of a warrior and resolves to marry him. Zero departs and reverts to Kunai, who is chagrined to have created such a humiliating character. Luna determines to continue traveling with Kunai and Aku, while elsewhere two bounty hunters debate whether or not to accept a contract pursuing the Demon Lord, but opt for a bounty on sandwolves instead. Kunai dresses Luna as a schoolgirl to avoid drawing attention when she rides in Luna's carriage. The two bounty hunters, swordsman Mikan and transgender magician Yukikaze, are in the region looking for sandwolves for their reward, but are forced to run since the pack is too huge. The wolves are defeated for skill points by Kunai, who just happened to be there before he departs. Aku's leg has poorly healed, prompting Kunai to discover that she is limping. He makes use of his skill points to call in one of his NPC helpers, Yu Kirino, a scientist and doctor who, although being brilliant, has a cruel bent and a passion for young boys. Kunai calls Yu despite the potential that she may turn traitor and discovers that, although she has free will in this new world, Yu is still loyal. In addition to ordering her not to harm anybody and disclosing his predicament, Kunai intends to keep a careful check on her. Yu quickly repairs Aku's leg with her special ability Hand of God, but Kunai reprimands her when she urges Aku to dress like a guy. Aku says that she has fallen in love with Kunai due to his generosity while sticking his leg out. Yu is happy and develops a love on Kunai as a result of Kunai's appreciation for her assistance and his compliments. Aku later acquires the uncommon magical survival ability known as Heroin while she is sleeping. Mikan and Yukikaze are astounded by Kunai's ability to defeat the Sandwolves, though Mikan is miffed that they lost the bounty. Utopia, the leader of the Satanist cult, decides to sacrifice every person in the city to Hades in order to appease him after learning that a demon lord killed Grail. Kunai and the others travel to Luna's province, specifically Rabbi Village, which has been left in the care of the Holy Church and is therefore in a terrible state. Kunai believes the church purposefully assigned her to the least valuable region in order to keep her out of harm's way. By constructing a hospital and hot spring, he chooses to upgrade the village. When the ineffective church manager is removed, he discovers that the village is populated by demi-humans known as bunnies, who the church views as inferior. Since the bunnies are having trouble farming the subpar soil, Kunai uses skill points to supply an endless supply of water and superior fertilizer. Holy Maiden Angel White, Luna's older sister, debates the potential threat posed by Kunai in another location, while the head soldier, Martial Arts, prefers to wait and see what kind of man Kunai is for himself. Donna, the head noble, is determined to punish Kunai in order to appease his fellow nobles. Angel is concerned about the mental state of her sisters after Killer Queen interrupts, still hopelessly fixated on Zero. S-rank adventurers Mink and Orgon debate the existence of a dragonkin fighting for justice at the Noma Noma Tavern before being given a poster of the Demon Lord, while Mikan and Yukikaze overhear their conversation. Meanwhile, Kunai, Luna, and Yu host a feast for Aku at the opulent Artemis restaurant in the kingdom's capital to commemorate the healing of her leg. They are joined by Ebifry Butterfly, a central figure of nobility in the kingdom, who Luna explains is a powerful social figure with many connections throughout the kingdom through Kunai's telepathic messaging. Kunai decides to try to gain her trust, and as he bargains with her and tells her about the improvements he plans to make to Luna's Rabbi Village, the Satanist cult launches coordinated attacks on the surrounding area. Kunai instructs his guests to remain calm and stay in the restaurant while he handles the situation. Mikan and Yukikaze are caught in the crossfire, but Kunai comes to their aid and dispatches the Satanists, who have summoned a mid-tier demon called Carnival.
ここのカーニバル様が遊んであげるわ。誰がやりやがった。殺す。
前回のあれはあっけなく死んでしまった方角のためにも今回は本来のスタイルで行かせてもらう
Kunai Kunai easily defeats Carnival, and the populace cheers, having recognized him as the Demon Lord from the posters. During the battle, Carmilla, an assassin disguised as a clown who is calming down the aristocrats, approaches Kunai's group with the purpose of poisoning them, but Yu scares him away with a magic trick that includes amputating his arms. In another area of the city, Killer Queen, Mount Fuji, and martial arts take off a swarm of zombies, while Mink battles another bunch of Satanists with healing church members. As a final option, the remaining cultists call the demon prince Oruit, who slaughters all the warriors and breaks Angel White's sacred barrier. Tron is told by Utopia before the conflict to fly in and drop the Hades miasma on the combatants, which she does as Mink and Queen struggle to maintain their position against Oruit. Kunai switches to Zero Kirisame at the last moment and easily fights Oruit, but not before Oruit severely wounds Tron and drains her blood to convert himself into a bestial monstrosity. Zero resurrects Tron from the dead, and when learning that she has forgotten how to smile, urges her to do so regardless of her circumstances. Zero overcomes Oruit once more and makes a victory stance, much to Tron's astonishment and Killer Queen's delight. Kunai talks with Angel White about where he can get more information about Seraph, as Angel tries to deduce if he is still an existential threat to the kingdom and church. Both parties appear to leave the talk on friendly terms, while Angel was masking her tension, wondering what Kunai's eventual purpose is and how he was able to tame the selfish Luna and vanquish Grail so easily, whom Kunai compared to a cheap replica rather than a demon king. Kunai discovers that he has accumulated enough skill points to bring a second NPC into the environment, and has gained the ability to teleport to familiar locales. He and Aku go to the church library to learn about the angels who reportedly created the universe, but also research ways to give himself resistance against magic, which did not exist in the future setting of Infinity Game. Kunai gets the idea for such a possibility from a story he tells to Aku about a dog discovering rare gems in a dungeon. Tron encounters Kunai on their way back and recognizes him as Zero, insisting on traveling with him in order to save her life. The gang teleports back to Rabbi Village, and Kunai immediately creates a hospital and hot spring resort, observing that they are still able to run without a source of energy, with the intention of hiring the people. He summons his assistant Isami Tahara, known for his quick learning ability and shooting talent, to safeguard Rabbi Village. Kunai summons Isami Tahara late at night, and he is instantly taken aback by the strange environment around him. Isami is led inside the resort and briefed on the situation, and he is terrified when he learns Yu is also present. Isami is entrusted with educating the people on the hamlet and maintaining its care, which he believes is too much labor, but Kunai tells him that he has the intelligence for it. Isami experiences a jolt as he pats her arm, but she declines to seek Yu's assistance. Yu, Tron, Luna, and Aku greet Isami while Kunai spends the night planning how to prepare for Ebifrai's arrival. Kunai returns to the capital and sells a music box to Nandan Manon, the antiquities dealer he previously visited, for 15 gold pieces. He then goes to Bingo, the tailor from whom he got Aku's clothing, and orders 20 tuxedos and bunny suits. Kunai retires to the inn for the night after creating a food delivery route to Rabbi Village. Kunai/Akira switches to Zero Kirisame for a moment, reflecting on the time he used to play as him. 1 week later, Ebifrai comes in to the renovated Rabbi Village. She brings Commando Sambo with her, and Kunai advises Yu to use eye drops to heal his eyesight. Sambo is thrilled, and Ebifrai rewards Yu with a Holy Lambda coin worth 100 gold coins. In a flashback from 10 years ago, we are shown a 6-year-old Luna hurrying to a noble's home to purchase bread with a companion named Eagle. The nobility ignore them, and Luna responds by declaring she'll grow up to be a holy maiden, and they'll have their comeuppance. Her schooling at the church begins 2 years later at the cost of Eagle's execution for being a demi-human. She was designated as a holy maiden at the age of 10, and her domain comprised Rabbi Village. Luna was reminded of Eagle after seeing a young Kian and Momo, so she prayed to Cherub for strength. Kunai and Ebifrai approach the hot springs, interrupting Luna's reverie. Luna invites Ebifrai inside, and her exuberance leads Ebifrai to conclude Luna has a crush on Kunai, which she sheepishly refuses. Ebifrai eventually decides to relocate to Rabbi Village. Meanwhile, Angel discovers Eberfry's vacation in Rabbi Village and suspects Kunai has influenced her as well, but Queen is unconcerned, stating that Angel has yet to find love while the other two have. Isami and Yu talk while working on a chart of the village's future growth, with Isami observing that Yu's personality has changed and that he will not succumb to Eberfry's influence. Kunai later obtains a checkup from Yu, which devolves into Yu fondling his body, prompting Kunai to quickly depart. Everyone feasts that evening, and Tron walks to the spa in hopes of seeing Zero, but Kunai drags her back to the women's side. Aku sleeps with Kunai after showering and is later joined by Luna, who makes her own excuse to sleep with him. Kunai departs the village for another exploration of the capital, leaving a letter for Luna and Aku instructing them not to look for him. Yukikaze and Mikan run into him there, and Yukikaze insists on inviting Kunai to his favorite tavern, Noma Noma, where everyone lavishes him with food and drink in thanks for defeating Carnival. Kunai, who is disturbed by Yukikaze's perverted demeanor, claims to be unfamiliar with the land's customs and adventurer system. Yukikaze and Mikan inform Kunai about the guild accepting requests and receiving fees, selling monster parts, rankings, competing guilds for the attention of high-ranking adventurers, and mercenary work. Kunai compares this industry to professional sports, noting its relative insecurity. Yukikaze also mentions how the current state of war makes it difficult to travel through the northern territories. Normal, solid, high-end, unique, legendary, and ineffective mass-produced items are also elaborated upon. Kunai decides to travel north, and Yukikaze volunteers, citing Kunai's need for a knowledgeable guide. Angel White's anxiety reaches a tipping point at Perplexed when she sees Rabbi Village being built. Isami mistakes Angel for a hired magician and assigns her the task of moving a supply of magic crystals. Angel eventually meets Luna and is frustrated by her refusal to leave. Angel becomes even more terrified when she sees Tron, and Luna forces her to let Kian and Momo accompany her to the baths. She explores the baths, believing it is her last chance to free Luna from Kunai's influence, and is surprised to find someone waiting for her. Angel comes across Kunai at the end of the baths and reluctantly agrees to join him at his request. Angel attempts to interrogate Kunai about his intentions for deceiving Luna and Eberfry, who is greatly embarrassed by the situation and flustered at the sight of Kunai. Kunai keeps his cool in front of a naked Angel and responds that they acted on their own free will. To calm Angel down, Kunai forces her to bathe and drink sake. As the two converse, Angel becomes frustrated and breaks down as she is called innocent, hard-headed, and eventually admits she is incompetent to manage the kingdom well on her own. Kunai bestows an angel halo on her as a final attempt to reassure her before departing, noting that she is the only holy maiden capable of living up to her title. Kunai uses his teleportability after the bath, and the two reappear in the capital's castle, which Angel misidentifies as the same miracle power she used to travel to Rabbi Village. Adding to the confusion, Kunai tells Angel that he wants to learn about Seraph because he believes Ophanum summoned him to this world, recalling the shrine idol. Angel's confusions all add up to confirm Kunai's identity as Lucifer. As Kunai departs, a smitten angel promises to guide Kunai back to what he once was. Kunai leaves Isami and Yu in the care of the village the next day as he travels to the northern city of Rookie with Yukikaze and Mikan. When they arrive, they are greeted by a group of heroes led by an overweight young man dressed in suspiciously modern clothing, which disgusts Kunai. There's a cliffhanger at the end of the episode that teases to be continued, but as of yet, there is still no second season. Thanks for staying all the way till the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe. It only takes a few seconds, but it means everything to us. Have a great day, and see you in the next video.